Imagination plus faith. Imagination plus faith is something Neville always spoke about, even towards the end of his death. And I think that from experience that you really only need these two things to change yourself. It's that simple. And I'm going to explain what I think faith is and persistence and imagination. And I'm speaking from somebody. I'm speaking from somebody who's. I've tried many, many things. I've tried subconscious impressing. I've tried gratitude work. I've tried just repeating affirmations all day. I've even put in like headphones and fell asleep to 8-hour affirmations. Like I thought this stuff would like do something for me that would. I guess I wanted it to one day just magically change me. But I'm gonna be honest, it never really worked. And I actually realized that the reason why it didn't work is I didn't have faith. I didn't know that at the time, but it's true. All you need is imagination and faith. And faith, you can if you don't like the word faith, just replace it with trust. Maybe I think trust is more of a better word for our modern tongue. But faith is also a good word. If you use the definition as Neville did from the Bible, it's actually a pretty good definition. Faith, as it says, is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So you feel a conviction of your imaginal acts. And that's what faith is. It's completely trusting in those imaginal acts as real. And in this lecture, Neville gives the example of him walking on the gangplank and leaving Barbados when he was stuck there. And he said he made the scene just feel so natural to him, but he trusted in that scene he didn't argue against the scene. That's what trusting means. To trust someone is not to trust the imagination is not to argue against it. It's not to fight or reason or debate it. It's just to accept what it's saying. That's what faith is. And in this world of imagination, since the world's reflecting you here, there is no one to change but self here. So you don't have to change anyone. You don't have to force yourself to think, I don't like this person, I need to change them, I need to change it. That you would overexhaust yourself. All you need to do is change self. And the self, as I said, is I am. It's the individual inside of imagination. This world of reflection, if you will, is I am. And the only reason why that's the only thing to change is because that's the only thing there is. There is only I am in this world. So there's only one thing to change. There's this unity between, you, the listener, and me, the speaker right now, where I say I am Edward, and you say you are, you would say I am whoever. We both say I am before. There's a unity between humanity with this word, I am. This awareness of being. And because it's the only thing there is, and it's the only thing to change, it's actually the only thing you fear. The only thing we fear in this world is I am. Because it's the only thing there is. And what I mean by that is, you don't really fear the things that are happening in the world, or at least you shouldn't. You shouldn't be afraid of all these problems in the world, because it comes down to your I am statements. If you are actually afraid of I am rejectable, I am bad, I am ashamed, I am wrong, or I am ill. These I am statements are actually the things you fear. Because the world could be crumbling, but if you feel I am safe, you're safe. If you feel like I am, if you assume these positions and you trust in them, then it doesn't really matter what's happening in the world. It really doesn't matter. And since it's only one being here, you rearrange the I am there, and everyone else would have to rearrange their position towards you in relation to you, into that new state that you've imagined yourself, because there's only one being here. And I'm going to say that again. The only thing you fear is I am. So the only thing you must change is I am. But then we're told something very interesting. Neville reveals to us, the Bible also stresses that it is impossible It actually says impossible, which I find interesting. Um, it is impossible to please me. I think this is more of a hyperbole, but it's true in some sense. You can think of it like it's impossible. It says it's impossible to please God without faith. And God, as Neville describes, is imagination. And I describe that as the I am, the self. I mean the same thing. The being within us, the one within that is reflecting out of here or expressing themselves out. So you cannot please this being within you without faith. So if I conjure up a scene, or I tell myself I am whatever, if I'm not feeling pleasure from that, then I'm not trusting in it. Because if I had a desire and it was fulfilled, you would bet that I would feel immense pleasure from that. I would feel, if I've been striving or I've been desiring for years to be something, and I imagine myself being it, and I'm not feeling pleasure from that, I'm not trusting that I'm it now. See, it's trust that changes us like that. It's the trust that is trusting in that new experience that I am what I want to be. If you can trust in that, or trust in as I said in one of my previous videos, if you say yes to being what you want or having what you want, if you trust in that yes, you will feel ecstasy. You will feel a change. And that change will happen in the body. So the body feels the ease that is what's being done within you in imagination. From the freeing of yourself, the freeing of I am in imagination. Your body feels it. And I can tell you an example. I remember one of my first manifestations with using Neville's work. I was like, I want to manifest $100 bill. I was like, let's just see if I can get a $100 bill. I was like, I don't really use bills. I wanted something that I didn't really use often. I was like, I use credit cards. I don't really use bills. But I was like, let's just see if I can do it. So I imagined myself holding it with my imaginary hands. And I held a $100 bill and I was looking at it. And I felt that it was mine. And I just moved on with my day. I didn't really think of anything else after that. And then about a couple of days later, I was, this was years ago, I was in an internship and I was training these older folks for fitness. And one of them comes up to me and he just hands me a $100 bill. And I said, oh, no, I'm okay, thanks. I thought it was strange at first. I was like, why is he handing me money? And he was like, no, take it. I'm rich. Don't worry about it. And so I took it. And it didn't even occur to me till like 10 minutes later. I was holding it in my hand again. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I did imagine this. But if we were to go backwards in time and see where the first act of change in reality happened, the first shifting, if you will, because Neville says the moment you imagine yourself in a new state, reality shifts itself, reshuffles itself. Well, the first act of the reshuffling actually happened in my body, because my body is a part of this world. So the first act of change or reshuffling in this world happened actually within myself, which was the acceptance of the wish fulfilled, as Neville says, caused an outer change within this reality, which was first happened in my body. And then from that, it expressed itself. And I went across that bridge of incidents, which really is just living normal life. You can think of it like that. It's just, I'm just living my normal day life, and I'm actually walking across a bridge that I didn't even know, because it all feels so natural. And it should all feel natural. But seeing that first change, you can have confidence that the moment you feel that pleasure and that euphoria, that you are actually changing reality in front of you, because your body is a part of reality itself. Remember, you are not the body. You are the being within the body. The body is the same thing as the sweater you're wearing on the body. It's a garment. It's a thing you're wearing. It's and I mean, that's personally how I see it. You can take what you want from that, but that's how I see it. And what I want people to do is to realize that they have these divine ears and these divine eyes within them that can hear the things they want to hear and see the things they want to see within themselves. The question is, do you trust what you're seeing? Do you trust what you're hearing? Do you trust that is now you, that you are now experiencing that? You can't experience it unless you are it. So you trust that you are it because you're experiencing it. I must be what I'm experiencing. So use your divine ears and divine eyes and remold your world within you, because you are the potter. You truly are the potter within. These divine eyes and divine ears can penetrate the thin crust of this illusion. So if you want to understand what does it mean to trust in my imagination, is the moment I say I am, I don't seek anything outside of me to do this. I don't seek anything in the world. I just say I am whatever it is I want to be. You really don't have to use I am statements. You can say, I remember one time Neville said, like, maybe you want to feel that not a thing in the world can embarrass you. Not a thing in the world can shame you. If you want to feel that, trust in your imagination that that is now the case. Fully trust in it, and you'll feel a change instantly. And then don't be afraid of that pleasure. That pleasure is you trusting in imagination. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking from somebody who's tried many techniques and many things. And the way Neville broke it down, which is imagination plus faith, truly is the only things you need to change oneself. It's the only things you need to change your world. Because it's the only things you're actually using. Many of us just use these in a negative route or a fearful route. We conjure up negative, fearful scenarios about ourselves, and we trust in those scenarios, and then those scenarios cause frightful feelings within us. But if we can realize that we have to now start living, now that we are aware of what we're doing within ourselves, we have now the power to change self. And in a way that we can change it is by fulfilling all our wishes. But if I'm fulfilling my wishes, I should feel pleasure. So that's how you would know, that's the indicator to know if I'm trusting in it or not. And I persist in that trusting that I am. I persist in trusting imagination. It's imagination plus faith. So I just persist in my faith in imagination, that I am what I want to be, and I walk in that faith and that new trusting until it happens in my world. You can sometimes for me, I just forget about what I'm doing, because if you feel like you don't need to continuously imagine it anymore, you feel that and you trust in that, just walk in that. You don't need to, as Neville says, burst a blood vessel. You can treat this lightly. Actually, I recommend you treat it lightly. You just imagine something great for yourself, trust in it, and then do it to something else now. Just start planting lots of seeds in your day. Just try to plant as many seeds as you can in your day, and you will reap a good harvest. You're making sound investments with your mind. Because really the only investment there is I am. And the only thing you want is I am, which by I am I mean it's the present tense feeling of being. It's you're not working to become it. You feel that you are it now. You don't seek the world for it. There's a post that I've made called The Less You Look, the More You'll See. And the reason why I said this is because over time what I discovered was it's almost as if I just continuously imagine and plant seeds and live in my imagination, and I don't seek anything from my world. I don't seek to look for it. I don't seek to change it. I do, as Neville says, I do nothing but let it express. I don't lift a finger. I don't even look at it. I've noticed I see more and more of my seeds that I've planted, which I found quite ironic. It's when we keep looking to see, is it growing? Is it growing? Is it growing? It almost feels like it never grows. But the moment I turn my back towards it, all of a sudden it appears. So I've just learned to not take the world in front of me as this concrete fact that is difficult to break, the mold. But I view it as, I actually don't even look at it. I just know that it's my harvest, and my harvest will change because I'm planting new seeds. But I just noticed there's over time, if I just move on with my day and I don't really think about my outer world like that, I don't check upon it, I just start seeing more and more things that I've imagined come into being quickly, way quicker. So I'm gonna repeat that. It was that the less you look, the more you'll see. And I truly believe that from my own experience. So I want to repeat, there is no one to change but self. And the way you can change self is through trusting your imagination that you are who you want to be. And that trust will cause a pleasure, which is the first act of change in your reality. And you keep trusting in that until it expresses fully. Or you can go another route, which is You just plant seeds all day. Neville did both. Neville would do both. He was like, there'd be times where I would feel immense ecstasy because I'm giving myself everything I want. I would just feel tons and tons of ecstasy, and I'd walk in my day like that. Or I would just plant a ton of seeds. I would just move on and move on and move on. And Neville was very much like, I like to just think about one thing at a time, but that I don't stop there. Sometimes just throughout my day, I'll just plant more and more things. And that's how we have to view this. This is like, this is truly like a garden. It's like an imaginative garden that we're planting that's expressing itself from without. And you really are the gardener. You're the one who plants the seeds. You are the potter. That's why I truly love the Bible, because it always puts you in the position of the one who's in control, the one who can shape and mold. And you truly have the power to shape and mold your life, because your life is within you. You have to see that your desires are within you. Your fears are within you. So this is where you must change it. And you have the power to change all your fears. Everything is within you. So you have a desire, realize that desire is within the world of imagination, and that's where it must be fulfilled. And you continuously live that life. And I truly view this as a lifestyle. To me, this was never like a one and done. It never has been the case for me. I've always wanted to understand what is being said here, because I wanted something that I could live upon. And I recommend that for everybody. If you can understand this information, truly live your life upon it. You won't regret it. But don't stress yourself. Use imagination and faith.